if we can connect with our fans and give them a little bit of a taste of what's going on and give them some insight so they feel like they're more connected to us, that's really important to me. And I think it's important to the whole organization. And what's exciting is we have a head coach in Liam and a general manager in James who get it. They understand it. They said, hey, listen, let's connect with our fans. Let's give them a little bit of a look of what we're doing. And it makes it easier for us to do that because we have great people in the organization. We have the Jaguars have a great team that put the hunt together and all this information, this podcast. And so when you build that trust, and I think it helps that I've worked with a lot of you guys for a long, long time. And so there's that trust that as an organization, everyone in it is marching in the same direction. They're trying to accomplish the same thing.
All right, welcome into this month's EV.Podcast. I'm here with Jaguars Executive Vice President of Football Operations, Tony Boselli.
Hey, John, how are we doing?
That's quite a title. But in all seriousness, I wanted to raise it because you've been in the position 2 months.
Yeah.
What have you learned about the title, about the position in 2 months that maybe you didn't know, that maybe stands out for you?
I guess the title's always is like, I don't want to say secondary, but I don't think about it in the overall role.
Sure.
And I think what I've loved about the job, and you don't know until you actually do it, is working with James and Liam. And the structure that Shad has set up where the three of us all report to him, working together in collaboration. You don't really know how that's going to go until you do it. And that has been probably my favorite part about the job. Obviously, the things I figured I'd love, I do love. Come to this place every day, working in football, talking about the thing and focusing on the thing I love, the game of football, and trying to make this organization the best with everyone else in this building. And then the entire organization, whether it's on the football side or the business side, working together, that's something I was looking forward to, and I would say it's met my expectations, if not exceeded them, how much I enjoy doing it.
You mentioned Shad. How much do you talk to him on a continuous basis, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we're in communication. I think the way I would kind of describe it as needed.
Sure.
Obviously, big decisions we make, strategic decisions that we're thinking about, we definitely consult with him, talk with him before big meetings like the NFL league meetings, spend a lot of time with him when he's in town, walking him through what we're thinking about the draft. We did the same thing with free agency. And so it's not daily.
Right.
And again, it's not one of those things I think about as like, we have a cadence of check-ins that we have to hit. It's more of let's make sure we're communicating the big decisions that are going to impact this club from a strategic standpoint. And other than that, I think his expectation is for us to go do a good job. That's what he's put us in place for, and has asked us to lead this organization from the football side and put a winning product on the field.
And pretty much whenever he wants to talk, right?
Oh, he's the boss. I mean, the boss.
Right.
Hey, listen, it's his club.
Right.
It's his team, and he's the boss. And if he wants to talk every minute of every day,
that's fine too.
That's just fine too. But I figured this, and again, this is one of the things you don't really know until you get into the role, into the job, because my relationship with Shad for the last 13 years or so has been one thing, as working in radio, helping on the business side, seeing him at games, and obviously I'm a part of the organization. And then now you go into a different role, which creates a different relationship because now I'm reporting directly to him. He's I guess he was always my boss even when I was doing radio, but now directly reporting to him, working with him, making sure we're operating in a way that represents this organization and the Kahn family and our fans and the city, all very important to myself, Liam, and James. I think it's important to everyone in this building, and if it's not, it should be. And so it's been great. I've really enjoyed the new relationship with Shad, and not new in the sense, obviously I've known him, as we just talked about, for a while, but it's different because now I'm working directly for him, and And he gave me this opportunity, which I'm very thankful for, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
People ask me all the time, I'm sure people ask everybody in this room all the time, what's it like now with the change? If somebody who asked you that, what do you like about what's going on? What makes you feel good about this going forward? Because we all feel it, but fans don't see it till it's on the field, right? So what do you like?
Well, I would flip the question to you, John.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to say what I like. I mean,
Sure.
I think Liam, James, and I have a very clear vision of what we want to do and how we want this place to operate and what we want it to feel like.
Which might be the answer, right? That's
feeling
right.
And what it's going to look like when we're on the grass, and how we operate in a day-to-day manner. I'd ask you, what's it feel like? Because I think for me, I've changed from doing the radio and working on the business side now to full-time and helping lead the football side. You're in the same seat. I mean,
Sure.
You've been here a long time, and I think it's interesting. And I try to talk to people that have been here for a while, and also new people.
Right.
Like, what's your experience? What does it feel like? Because I think one of the things you got to be careful of is not getting drunk on your
Right.
own, your own
Sure.
message, your own thing. Because I think it's healthy to get have good feedback. Criticism, constructive criticism, of understanding what the things that we're doing, how is it impacting the whole building? How does it impact the whole organization? And I think sometimes you try, as myself as a leader, trying to make sure I'm aware of that, but I'd ask you, what's it like?
Yeah, I would say probably the thing that defines it, that I tell people when they ask me, probably, for some reason, I'm locked on to James's communication.
Well, he's pretty good at it.
Well, and I think that sort of defines, I think you are as well, right? That's a strength. I haven't talked to Liam as much, but I think that element of everybody being clear in their goals, in the way they're going to do it, there's so much more to it, but that's sort of the defining part, which I think is something that you guys
Well, I think,
want.
I think if you were, core values is something that's thrown around a lot of times. But if you were to think about, what we want to make sure is in this building, and that's clear, concise communication.
Right.
Because that's how you build relationships. That's how you build relationships built on trust, is through, strong communication, direct, honest communication. I think you nailed it with James. He's world-class at it.
Sure.
He's certainly set the bar for me for something to go chase
Right,
as a communicator. He's really good. Liam is a great communicator. I think a lot of people in this organization saw that the other day when he presented the whole culture and how we're going to operate. You can see a leader in our head coach that has strong convictions and has the ability to communicate that clearly, both at an individual level, but in a group setting, to understand, like, hey, this is how we're going to operate.
Right.
This is our commitments. This is how, the style of play we're going to have. And so I think one of the things that we want to make sure throughout the building, throughout our organization, throughout our locker room, how we operate from coach to coach, coach to staff, players to coach, players to players, player to staff, all the things, vice versa, is that there's open, clear lines of communication. Because I think one thing that we all believe is that's how you start building really good relationships, which, done the right way, it's going to help us win football games.
You mentioned Liam talking to the staff. He talked to the players as well. I guess it was the Tuesday the players got in.
Yep.
Aside from the message about communication and the message that Liam gave them, what did players get when they walked in this building this time? What did they see that was different? I know it's a question for the players as well.
Sure.
But what do you think they saw? What's going to be different for them?
Well, probably just, we're early in this phase one, and a lot of new faces.
Sure.
Some familiar faces in new roles,
Right.
i.e. me. But I hope what they felt is a bunch of energy, positive energy, enthusiasm, walking in saying, hey, this feels different, whatever that means. And again, though, it's early.
Right.
And
can't force it. Right.
Well, and I think you got to get the first steps right, because if the first steps are off, you're going in the wrong direction really quickly. But you got to continue down that path. You got to continue to build, and don't get comfortable. Let's not break our arms patting ourselves in the back because how we feel things are going so far, and they are going well. I'm really excited what we've accomplished. Whether it's start from, obviously starting with hiring Liam and then getting James, and then we went through free agency. We're building up towards the draft here coming up really soon. Players are back. We put a staff together, So we're really excited of what we've accomplished so far, but it's early. And each day is a test. Each opportunity is a test to see and kind of test what you're building, but also how you respond to the challenge. And we're going to have a lot of opportunities to see if we can meet the standard that we're setting, both as staff members, coaches, players, all of us. We're all in this together. So early, I'm happy what we've accomplished. It's exciting to have players back in the building, because, each of these are steps in the progression of building a championship level organization. And we got to just continue to put the hard work in and make good decisions and learn from our mistakes.
You liked James from the start. What do you like about him now? Maybe you didn't know a month ago. Anything jump out?
He's just a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He's obviously he's talented at what he does. He's a great communicator. He's smart as heck. Good evaluator. All those things. It was pretty clear just from the interview process and him working here early days.
That's a cool thing to see, that you can also work with the guy.
But I enjoy again, you don't know this until you go through it. So far, now, have we hit huge moments of adversity? Have we, lost a tough game that we felt like we should have won? Whatever the challenges that are coming, which they are coming. But early, I enjoy coming to work every day, and part of that's because, yes, I love the organization, but I really like it, and I've grown to love the guys that I'm working with. They are enjoyable. Like, James is just if someone said, well, describe him, and you could go through all the characteristics and everything else. I think to sum it up, he's just a good dude.
Same question for Liam.
And it would be a very
very
similar answer. They're very different. And I think we're all different. And James said it early. It's something that we've all and I've always believed this. I don't know if I would articulate it exactly how I do now. But being the best version of yourself, not trying to be someone else. And I know we've talked about what makes head coaches great, or leaders great in the past. And one of the things that I've always said is great leaders are themselves. They're not trying to be somebody else. They're not trying to put on a facade. They're not trying to.
Players sense fraud pretty quick.
Oh, man. I've said it since the beginning of time. Players know in about 15 seconds whether you're authentic or not when you're in the front of the room.
Yep.
And one of the things that I enjoy, again, is I can be myself, which I think people who know me, I've pretty much done that for most of the time I've been around here. But you got two individuals that, with me and James and Liam, like, hey, we're going to show up every day. We're going to try to be the best version of ourselves. And that's enjoyable. I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy working with those type of people.
It's been a minute, but what do you like about free agency?
Listen, I think we got better. And that's the goal. I really we invested, in 4 offensive linemen. In McCary at the guard, saw him when he's back in the building, coming back. He looks great. Hainsey at center. Chuba, who's played center, guard. Not center, tackle and guard. And then Big Fred Johnson was the last guy from the Eagles, who's just a massive human being. So I really like what we did up front. I'm biased.
You feel like it's a nastier bunch up there, right?
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is, in all these rooms, is bring competition, because great competitors love to compete. And so let's bring it into the room so we start competing right now. But then you look at the rest of free agency. I think Jordan Lewis, really excited about getting him in here. Just his play style, what he was able to do both as a nickel and outside corner in Dallas. I think him and Eric Murray make us better in the back half. And then De'Ami Brown is another guy who can take the top off. I mean, you got two guys now in BT and De'Ami that can really stretch defenses. They can run all three. They can run routes at all three levels. And then we got a couple tight ends, round out that room. So I think, and again, I'm going to steal this from James because, as the GM, as we were talking about free agency, we're going to raise the floor.
Right.
Like we're going
with
to raise
some
the
guys
floor.
who sort of get some people around here, right? Like there's some connections that
absolutely
matter as well.
They do, and so we're just going to continue to improve the roster. We did it through free agency. The draft now is right there, getting ready to. We have 10 picks, and we want to continue to just make sure we're becoming a better and better team every day, whether it's the offseason program in the weight room, on the grass, in the classroom, but also as we add individuals to the organization.
It's so hard to pre-discuss the draft because it's all speculation and one pick changes everything. But what do you think you'd like to see the week after the draft?
Really good players.
I mean, a speed, size, anything like that, or is it just that?
Listen, the attributes.
Let's get some better players.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, the attributes are always important. There's no doubt about it. Height, weight, speed, length, all those type of things. What I'm looking for, and I think what we are looking for, is guys who love the game of football and are good football players. James talks about intangibly rich individuals. I translate that into my offensive line brain as just guys who love ball and are just tough and can't wait to compete on the football field. They love the game, and they're good football players. And so that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're going to go find. So, and at the end of the day, so we want guys who can help us on the grass go compete and be our best and win as many games as we can.
I keep thinking of Keenan whenever he says intangibly rich for some reason.
Well, Keenan's a great –
a bunch of guys, right?
But if you could have 53 Keenan McCardell's across every position group, I think you'd be probably a dang good football team. And
but a lot of guys.
I'm not sure Keenan was going to beat anyone in a 40.
Right.
Wasn't the biggest human being, so attributes, probably was dinged. And one of the reasons he probably got drafted really, really late. Wouldn't even been drafted in the 7th-round draft that we have today.
Right, 12th-round pick.
12th-round pick. He'd have been a college free agent, one of the best Jaguars ever to play the game. And because it's a guy who loved football, who loved to compete. He's just a good football player.
Right.
So that's what we're looking for.
Gotcha. One thing I want to touch base on before we close, in the first 2 months, I think one of the things we talked about at the top for fans has been how transparent the organization has been. And it's easy to say that. It's a little harder to put it into action. But the hunt obviously was fantastic and different things like that. Why so important? I assume you've been around it. You've been a fan a little bit of a team for a while. You've had a lot of different roles and you know how important it is. But I guess put that into your words. Why does that matter to you?
Well, I think it's important to communicate with your fans and give them. People are curious. They love us. They love this. They love the organization. They love the NFL. They love the game of football. So let's give them as much of a behind the scene look as possible. Obviously, we can't be fully transparent. We're not going to get up here and tell people what we're doing in the draft and or free agency when that comes, or everything that happens in the building. There's certain things that just from a competitive advantage, you're not going to, or you don't want to have a competitive disadvantage. So you're not going to share certain things. But if we can connect with our fans and give them a little bit of a taste of what's going on and give them some insight so they feel like they're more connected to us, that's really important to me. And I think it's important to the whole organization. And what's exciting is we have a head coach in Liam and a general manager in James who get it. They understand it. They said, hey, listen, let's connect with our fans. Let's give them a little bit of a look of what we're doing. And it makes it easier for us to do that because we have great people in the organization. We have the Jaguars have a great team that put the hunt together and all this information, this podcast. And so when you build that trust, and I think it helps that I've worked with a lot of you guys for a long, long time. And so there's that trust that as an organization, everyone in it is marching in the same direction. They're trying to accomplish the same thing. And so because of that collaboration, because of that trust, we're able to do some pretty cool things and give our fans an opportunity to see some of the day-to-day life of their coaches, of our coaches, our players, and some of the people in the building.
Yeah, and if people haven't seen The Hunt,
they did a great job.
Top level stuff in terms of access and production.
Like, we should get that on Netflix or something, like a documentary.
Sure.
Why not?
And I get some pay raises in this room.
Well, I mean, let's slow down there a little bit. Let's not get big heads now.
I need to come out of a different budget.
I'm all for it then.
We're going to go into the Bo Zone now.
Wow.
So 3
We're
questions.
We're really branding a lot of stuff here.
You really are.
I don't want to get into the specifics of some of it, but it's good.
Daniel from St. John's, Florida writes, do the Jaguars think they solved the offensive line problem short term, or do they think that they just put duct tape on it?
You never solve. Like, you're
Right.
always working to get better. Big believer in the saying that you're either getting better or you're getting worse. Nobody's staying the same.
Right.
So we're not going to be satisfied. We're going to look for more and more good players at every position, not just the offensive line, but every position group. We're always looking to improve. We're always looking for guys to come in here and challenge and compete, because as we do that, the whole team gets better. But duct tape, no. We're not going to bring people in here that we don't have a vision for and we don't think can help us win football games.
Yeah,
so,
for background, I talked to you the day that you got these offensive linemen in here, and the excitement you had was real.
Absolutely. I was excited about our whole free agent class. Obviously, I'm always going to lean towards have a little internal biases for the offensive line, so I'm going to get probably the most excited about the big guys. But I love what we did. And, no, this is not duct taping. This isn't temporary. We're not trying just to plug a hole. We're trying to get better.
Right.
And we will always. We're not going to be satisfied. So the building process never stops.
Now, JP from the Vortex, and I don't think this is your JP. I think this is a different JP.
You sure about that?
Because he lives in the Vortex. But
where's the Vortex?
The Ozone, people at the Ozone are different people.
Okay,
Tony,
good.
So,
Good to know.
I saw we can now wear our throwbacks 4 times this year. Guess we are getting at least 4 wins this season. I'm not sure about the guarantee, but I know you like the throwbacks. Any thoughts on that direction? Because you are in charge of uniforms.
I'll just say this. I love the throwbacks. I think the uniforms, the jerseys, whatever you want to call it, that I wore and the teams that were here in the 90s, those are the best jerseys.
Right.
I'm biased.
Biased.
But it sounds like our fans have similar thoughts. So I'll just say, based on that, you can imagine that if it's up to me, we'll try to wear those things as much as possible.
You will lean in that direction. So the last one's interesting to me. Michael from Orange Park, Florida writes, Zone. You've known 71 a long time. You're 71, by the way.
Thank you. That's good to know.
Do you think he knows what an ecosystem is? And is he intangibly rich?
It sounds like, what's this guy's name?
This is Michael from Orange Park.
Michael. It sounds like Michael's questioning my intelligence with if I understand what an ecosystem
All right.
is.
So,
I graduated high school.
and
I went to USC. Some call it the Harvard of Los Angeles.
Yes, some in this seat, right?
Yeah,
Call that.
some of us. I do know what an ecosystem is. And what was the second part?
Are you intangibly rich? And I would argue that you, even though you were a great Hall of Fame talent, I would say you did fit the James Gladstone's bill of intangibly rich with the way you played.
And I appreciate that. I'll say this about the intangibly rich. Don't think that means somebody doesn't have great attributes.
Right.
I would say this. Like, these are the guys we're looking for that are big, fast, long, can jump and are intangibly rich.
Like really talented, intangibly
By the
rich
way,
guys.
The guys, most of the guys in the Hall of Fame are guys who are intangibly rich and have attributes.
Right.
We're just saying we value guys who love ball, who are competitive, that have high football IQ, high football instincts, that have leadership, that have toughness, that have grit to them. Like, we value that. We're not saying we value that over great athletes.
But that's got to be on the board.
We're looking
somewhere.
for both. We're hunting up for both. Because I think I have a hard time, I always have, with you turn on the tape and you watch a guy play, you get all the background, and you're just kind of like, not sure. And then somehow, because they go put on a pair of shorts and a T-shirt and go to the combine and run fast, jump high, do all these things
right.
that, yes, have some correlation.
All of a sudden, stock rises.
All of a sudden, they're like,
right.
They're a first rounder.
Yep.
I'm like, I just don't understand that. You have 3-4 years of tape on these individuals, and after watching that, there was nothing that got you really juiced up.
Right.
And now because they went for a weekend to Indianapolis and ran fast or jumped high, now you think they're going to be a great football player when you have no evidence of that? That's where I've always struggled.
Right.
From when I was on the outside. So I think ideally you're looking for guys who are intangibly rich and great athletes.
Gotcha.
Like those are the guys that would be fun to – let's get as many of those guys as we can on the football team. But sometimes guys – we talked about Keenan.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is Keenan wasn't – I don't even know if he got invited to the combine, but if he did, probably not, winning the combine.
Sure.
Because whatever Keenan ran, it was not under 4.5 is my guess.
Right.
Wasn't a big human being. But you know what Keenan did? He played football.
Mm-hmm.
He could just flat play. And was a leader and was tough, had grit. So we
look to him in big moments.
In big moments, he's going to show up. So what we're looking for is guys who have that. We value that.
Right.
We're not saying we devalue someone who are great athletes.
Right.
But let's look at the whole picture because we're not running 40s.
And having that always in the conversation
We're not doing
is
verticals.
important.
We're not doing broad jumps. We're playing football. I want, and we want, good football players. Guys who love it, who want to compete every day to be the best they can be, the best version of themselves. So, don't mistake when you hear intangibly rich is like we're just looking, for guys. We don't care.
But you're not looking for 45 Rudies.
Probably Rudy got about 2 plays.
Right.
probably not what we're looking for.
Right. Gotcha. Tony, as always, thank you for doing the EV podcast, and we'll see you next month.
Looking forward to it, John.
Fantastic, buddy.